Hey guys, this is your boy Nick with another small engine video. This one's going to be on a snapper Comet, kind of like the one you saw in the Forrest Gump movie. I got it for 50 bucks. It was sitting out in a guy's front yard. As you can see, it's looking pretty rough. It was been out in the elements, covered with pine straw and debris, and we literally had to drag this thing onto the trailer. The tires were flat. It did not want to roll. So the first thing I need to do is get all of this pine straw blowed off of it. Get it all cleaned up and in the garage and kind of see what it needs to get it going again. This is kind of a lengthy video, so I hope you will kind of stick around and find out how this thing turns out. Here it is in the garage. It took about 45 minutes to get the ton of pine straw and grass off the thing. And me and my son literally had to drag this thing in the garage. It's in neutral, but I don't know if from it sitting in the yard outside, the transmission's rusted and locked up, but it would not roll at all. It has a Briggs & Stratton motor on it. It's not the original one. Most of them came with an old Tecumseh 8 horsepower motor. And this one I ended up breaking the air cleaner cover off because it was so brittle. But the guy, of course, that I bought it from says that the motor's not locked up. It was ran when it was parked. Of course, they always say that. But I did confirm that the motor is free, but I have not tried to start it. So you always hope that it's at least a runner. I can only get one of the tires to hold air, so they're all pretty much flat. But I did get some replacement tires, whole set for them. So I'm gonna try to get those on, and that way at least I can roll it around the shop if I ever get the transmission figured out. I do want to take a look at the transmission underneath to see what's going on with that. So before I prop this thing up, I'm gonna drain the oil out of it because there's no telling how long that's been in there. And then I'm gonna prop it up, see what it looks like underneath. Sure hope that's not water mixed in with it. So I got the oil drain out of the motor. I gotta clamp this fuel line off, remove the gas tank so I can have a look underneath. And apparently these brackets here are designed to support this mower up in a vertical position. That's crazy. Got the fuel line pulled off the carburetor and clamped off. And the gas tank apparently just lifts right off. That's pretty cool. Oh my God. Huh. Bruh, if I wouldn't have YouTube researched that, I would have never known those two brackets were designed to hold this mower upright like that. That's crazy. But taking a quick look underneath, the blade doesn't look in too bad a shape. And of course, there's a lot of rust and crud in the transmission area, so I've got to replace these two boots and the friction wheel here, go through all that, grease everything up. So yeah, that's probably gonna be fun, but that's all part of it. So I got to thinking, even if I've got this thing rolling again, Nick, you're still sitting on 4 flats. So I really need to address the tire issue first. So I think what I'm gonna do is pull those tires off and get those mounted. And the 2 front ones I just bought as a set because they were cheap enough. But these I'm gonna have to take them, the old ones off the rims and put these new ones on. So I'm gonna do that first. I had another thought. While I got these things off and they're kind of rusty, I think I'm gonna sand them down, paint them white, like the rims on the Forrest Gump mower. Yeah. Man, I was cleaning up these rims, trying to get all the rust off, and look what I found. A daggone rust hole through the rim. So I'm gonna try to JB weld those things up and hopefully they'll hold some air. And anybody ever tried that or had that issue come up, let me know. Man, I was so mad. So what had happened was, even though these were the same size tires, I could not get these things to mount on the rim with my little tire changer. So I took them across the street to the shop and they charged me $10 a piece to mount them, and we're good to go, back in business. This was the rim that I did the JB weld up on, and it's holding air. So hopefully that weld is gonna hold and we'll be good to go. Happy with it. My plan is to still go through this thing, get everything cleaned up, sand it down and repaint it. So I'm gonna start taking parts off, starting with this blade and deck, so I won't bore you with that. Okay, I got the deck off, and let me tell you, this thing's gotta weigh at least 80 pounds. It's solid. And the only thing really holding it is this pivoting rod here on the front, and those chains that hook on to that hook right there in the back. But that thing is heavy. So I didn't film this part, and I should have, but all I was trying to do is replace the rubber boots that help protect this axle area and keep dirt and grit out of the transmission area. And all I was planning to do was to pull this pin out and then maybe use a pulley to get this wheel flange off and then slide the whole assembly out of the rear end. But no, that didn't happen. This thing gave me a fit. I broke 3 pulleys trying to get this flange off and had to end up reaching out to a guy by the name of Jim's Fix-It Shop on YouTube, who works on a lot of these snapper mowers, and I asked him, how can I get this darn thing off? And he said, hey, last resort, you may have to end up cutting them off, because I've had to do that a time or two, and that's what I had to do. And that's kind of what's left of the one on the one side, so I could pull this axle off. I had to end up cutting it and then still using a pulley just to get it off. It was a mess. So these are the boots that I want to replace. You can see they're in bad shape. And this is the new set of boots that I ordered on Amazon. Had no problem getting those. And I also want to replace this friction wheel that actually drives the unit. You can see it's in bad shape. And I was also able to get that off Amazon, the largest retailer on the planet. It's great. All right, real cool. I got the new boots on, they're all greased up. Got the friction disc on, looks good. Wheel flange on that side. And originally I was gonna repaint this one and make it all purdy, brand new. But I came across this other snapper. This one's more like the Forrest Gump style that was used in the movie. So I think I'm going to end up taking this one apart, sanding it, going through the whole thing, making it like new, and sell that one over there. So that's the plan. Probably won't do necessarily a video on this one, but it'll be more like a before and after. So I got the tractor back on the floor. Had to do some cleaning up on the engine. The coil was pretty rusty, so I cleaned it up. And the kill wire was kind of rusted, so I had to clean up the kill wire, reset the gap between the coil and flywheel, make sure that was okay. And also did some cleaning there on the carburetor. When I drained the oil, and I might have showed that earlier in the video, can't remember, but I did find some water in the oil. So I'm hoping that I'm gonna have enough compression to get the engine running. So I'll find that out in a minute. But what I'm working on now is this throttle cable was rusted solid, so it's no good. So I'm making a new throttle cable, so I'll be able to work it. So that's what I'm working on now. So I got this cable, I believe from eBay. You can buy it by the roll and just cut it to the right length that you need. So I already did that. And they make this tool, they call it a Z-bend tool. To be able to fit it in a throttle control, you have to make this little bend. So you basically just put it, this little hole there, you put it in, and then you just thread the cable around like that. And once it fits in that little groove there, you bend it the other way. You can see it fits in the groove, and then you bend it and it makes a Z bend, and that way you can put it in a throttle control. Tighten that up. All right, cool. I got the throttle cable on. Now I'm gonna put this beauty cover back on, give it a couple tugs, make sure we got spark, top off the oil, and then give it a little fuel to see if it'll start. it is sparking. It's kind of hard for me to hold the camera and show you. Yeah, but I do got spark. So I actually got this thing to start, and as I said earlier in the videos, that this is not the original motor. And when I got it to start, it acted like it was starving for fuel. And it would only really run smooth if I left the choke on. So I could swap out, I've got some carburetors there on the shelf and could swap one out for this one, or open up the jet some, give it more fuel. But like I said, this machine I wanna sell so I can get some money out of it to start working on the one I'm gonna keep over there. So I looked up the model number here off the engine and found me a good old Amazon replacement. So I'm just gonna do a quick swap out on the carburetor. So guys, got the new carburetor on there and it started up. I got a lot of popping coming through the exhaust still. So I tried to do a couple of easy things, like I changed out the spark plug. That was pretty old in there. Adjust the valve and clean it up a little bit, but I still got some popping, a lot of popping going on through the exhaust. So what I didn't want to do, I'm going to have to do, is I'm going to pull the head off and take a look at the valve conditions and see if they're seating like they're supposed to. So yeah, great. So I got the head pulled off, and it did have a blown head gasket. So, you know, it's got some pretty good carbon buildup around the valve. So I imagine that the seats, I need to pull the valves and do some seat cleaning, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna get this gasket off, do some cleaning, and go from there, see what we got. Put the head and the valves in the Sonic cleaner. I did pretty good. I just used water and Dawn dishwashing liquid. I think I got this one from Amazon because it has the timing control and heat setting. And came out pretty decent. I did some cleaning on the block side and the piston. And now I just need to get the, do a little bit more wipe down on the head and do some lapping on the valves, put it back together and put a new head gasket on and go from there, see what we got. All right, I got the valves back in and I can already tell that it's much better seating, nice and tight. Everything cleaned up pretty good. So the head gasket came in, and sometimes it just kills me when you order stuff. You know, if you're a seller and you know you have to ship things like this a head gasket that's delicate in the first place. Wouldn't you use 2 pieces of good sturdy cardboard on both sides and ship it, and you don't have to worry about something this flimsy kinking or anything like that. So I just never understood why some of these sellers just think it's okay to just ship things like this in flimsy cardboard. I don't know, I just don't get it. So, got the head back on, valve cover back on. I had lapped the valve, so everything was looking good and clean. Everything went back together good. Started it up, was running fairly strong, but then it started popping, making a popping noise back to the intake there. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, because, you know, the valves and everything were seating good, everything was looking good. So I'm not sure why I was getting this popping noise through the intake. I'm hoping, because I pulled the ignition coil off, and I'm hoping it was some kind of intermittent spark coming from this coil, because it looks pretty old. So I went online trying to find a replacement coil, Briggs replacement coil, and Jack's Small Engine and Parts Tree said it was discontinued. So I went to the next thing was eBay and Amazon, and I was able to find one on Amazon. I guess they still had one in stock for like 16 bucks. So that was the part number there for the Amazon coil. So I'm gonna try that and see if that cleans up the spitting and sputtering and popping through the intake. So great, I'm trying to get this thing running, put back together and sold, so I can start working on the one there that I'm gonna keep. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting on the ignition coil to come in, I had planned to change the brake band on this for the deck. There's a little band underneath this blade pulley that when you disengage the blades, that band is supposed to tighten up and stop the blade from turning for safety. So I ordered that from Briggs, and that's the part number there for the brake band. And so in the meantime, I'll switch that out and see what we got at that point. So a couple of weeks later, I did get that ignition coil in and installed. I had some projects going on in between time. Brake bands back on. I put everything back together on the deck. Seat was in bad shape, but I put some duct tape on it. Duct tape fixes everything. And I've got so much time in this machine, I really just want to get it sold and get a little bit of money out of it so I can start working on the one I am going to keep and restore and all that good stuff. So I just want to get this one done and over with. I was able to get the motor started, it started up, and although it's not running as smooth as I wanted it to, I think that's going to be a project for the next guy. I let them, you know, take it apart and do what they want to with it, paint it and all that good stuff, and maybe change the motor out or get this one running smooth. But that's going to be a project for the next guy. But I am going to start it up and drive it and show you guys that everything's working on it, and hopefully I can get this thing out of here. So I'm wrapping this up for this Snapper Comet 30-inch mower. It's going to be on Marketplace for sale and hopefully out of my garage. But I learned a lot working on it. I'm ready to get started on my other one I got sitting in the garage. But this is a fun little mower to zip around to mow the grass with, and it's got 5 speeds, so in 5th gear it goes pretty fast. So it's a nice little mower for somebody to restore and, you know, take care of the yard with. But anyway, hopefully you like this video. Please hit that like button. I know your boy Nick is behind on videos. I've got so many videos I need to edit and upload here on my phone. So I'm a little bit behind, but they're coming your way. So don't forget about your boy. Tell people to subscribe. Please hit the like button, and your boy will be back soon. Out.